Thank you, Chuck. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Who in this room uses GPS? It tells you where you are, and it leads you to where you want to go. It's awesome. In life, we need directions too. We have goals of where we want to go, and we just need help getting there. I have clients ask me various questions at times. How much life insurance do I need? Should I have term or whole life? What retirement recommendations do you suggest? How do I get out of all this debt that I'm loaded down with? These are really important questions. But before I can answer these brilliant questions, I have to determine where someone is right now. And so everybody understands, I am a registered financial advisor. I have a fiduciary duty to act in your best interest. I specialize in financial plans for people to lead them to the goals they want to achieve. So, when someone asks me those questions, I can't give them those answers right away because I got to see where they're at right now. Because everybody has a lot going on in their lives. They have their home, they have their mortgage, they have their retirement plan that they have right now, however they're saving money, or if they're not saving money. They have their kids' education plans they're saving for. They're making income right now, and while they have expenses, they're figuring a lot out. And for someone to come up and ask me how much life insurance they need, you have to get all this other information. So there's tools that I use. And the tools I use, one of the tools is called Money Edge. And it's a system where I collect information from people and ask them all these questions and see what their goals are. Because I got to, just like a GPS system, I have to see where someone is. And when I see where someone is, then I can help them get where they want to go. So after I collect all this information, I go back to my office and I studied all the information that they have given me, and I talk to various colleagues that I work with and work on coming up with a plan that will work best for them. Because I'm a fiduciary. And being a fiduciary means you have that person's best interest in mind all the time. Everybody wants to make money in their profession, but with the license that I have, I'm required to do what's in your best interest over a profit that I can make. And for me, that fits my personality very well. And I like that. Because I'm helping people, I'm leading them through the process at the same time. So after I looked at all this information, I meet back with whoever was asking me these questions, and I present them with a report. And in the report, it's a very detailed report. It has like a balance sheet in it, showing people what they look at right now at this point in time, because that's what a balance sheet is. And it also shows them things that they might be sufficiently attended to with maybe their insurance or how they're saving money, but it also addresses issues that should be looked at. And that's how I use this report. And that's the background what I do. And the bottom line is I work with real people. So there's one couple that I worked with, lives not too far from here. Him and his wife, this guy was he had contacted me and had insurance questions for me. And he's retiring, and he was a union painter, and his wife is 10 years younger than him. And he has this option that he can take at work, and he contacted me on what he thought I should do. And just like how I started out today, I didn't say, hey, you should do this because that's the best option. I collected all this information for me. It was a process. And I like the process because the process is for him, and it shows what works for him and what I believe would work for him. And I explain it to him and work on getting the buy-in that he understands what's going on, and this will help him. And the good thing about working with this couple is I was able to help them and lead them and guide them through consensus of what they feel was appropriate. I also worked with another lady, an older lady, retired. Her husband's been deceased for 15 years, died unexpectedly, left her with a mess that she didn't know what was going on because she didn't do anything. Her husband always handled those things, and she let it sit for a while before she did anything. And I met with her and went through everything, and he set up a lot of things that were really nice for her, which is really awesome. And I just ended up going through her information after I had to collect it all before I could even talk to her about it, just how I explained earlier. I was able to attend to things that she was missing out on and explain it to her, and it worked out really well because she felt comfortable about how it was explained to her. I almost explain it like I like to dummy it down for people so they get what's going on, because things are challenging at times, and people aren't focused on this full time because they're living their lives. And the third person I want to tell you was with a close friend of mine, and this guy was loaded down in debt, like a lot of debt. You know, he was car crazy, like always buying a new car every year and rolling it over and buying a car that he had a payment that was, he was paying more than what even the value of the car was when he was getting a car, because he kept on rolling everything over. And I went through all his finances and talked to him, and he didn't see any way out of this, you know, because he decided he wasn't going to buy cars anymore. He was going to just work on paying stuff down. And I, after collecting all this information and seeing where he was at, you know, I worked with him. We call it a disappearing debt plan, and it helped him get back in the shape that was good for him, because and after 2 years he was debt free by just following some simple plan. And a lot of this stuff is simple, but most of it's doing it and having someone to talk to while you're doing it. And I worked with him to bring it forward. And that's why I like to say I love GPS, because GPS guides people. We know we can see where they're at, and we can look at their goals and get them where they want to be. Thank you very much.